So Henry Cavill is officially, he is not returning as Superman. James Gunn is going to be writing a new Superman film, and Henry Cavill will not return. This is via Variety here. So it says things are heating up in Metropolis as DC Studios co-head James Gunn has announced he is writing a new feature film about Superman. In step with the new project, Gunn has also revealed that Henry Cavill will not return as the hero. Peter, this is a quote from James Gunn here. It says, Peter and I have DC slate ready to go, which we couldn't be more over the moon about. We'll be able to share some exciting information about our first projects at the beginning of the new year, the director turned table chief tweeted Wednesday evening. Among those on the slate is Superman. Initial stages of the story will be focused on an earlier part of Superman's life, so the character will not be played by Henry Cavill, but we just had a great meeting with Henry, and we're big fans. We talked about a number of exciting possibilities to work together in the future. Sources close to DC told Variety that Gunn, his co-president Peter Safran, and Cavill met recently, and all are energized to find something in the comic book universe for Cavill to tackle. Cavill did confirm, he also talked about this on his Instagram post. Let me pull this up right here. Cavill put, I've had a meeting with James Gunn and Peter Safran, and it's sad news. Everyone, I will, after all, not be returning as Superman after being told by the studio to announce my return back in October prior to their hire. This news isn't the easiest, but that's life. The changing of the guard is something that happens. I respect that. James and Peter have a universe to build. I wish them and all involved with a new universe the best of luck and the happiest of fortunes. For those who have been on my side through the years, we can mourn for a bit, but then we must remember Superman is still around. Everything he stands for still exists, and the example he sets for us are still there. My turn to wear the cape has passed, but what Superman stands for, it never will. It's been a fun ride with you all, onwards and upwards. So what was your opinion on what's your opinion on Henry Cavill as Superman? What did you think about his time as Superman? Was he a good Superman to you?
I think he did the best he could with the material he was given. I think the physique and he wasn't allowed to really do a lot, unfortunately, with the character. Really, he only starred in 3 movies. He cameoed in a few other things. His tenure wasn't long, but it was not long as it should have been. But I think Henry Cavill as a person and as an actor, I think he's a really good actor. I've enjoyed him in other films such as some of the Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that's a very underrated movie. I think he does a great job with him and Arlie Hammer, and I think he also did a great job in Mission Impossible movie,
mm-hmm.
which was ironically the movie that the mustache whole situation, the CGI mustache. But I think he's a class act. I think the way he's handled the situation is honestly really inspiring and just really impressive to see how he's been super respectful despite the tossing and turning and backing and forth. And he really loves Superman. You can tell that he does. And it does break my heart to see it. I think a lot of people really like Henry Cavill as Superman. He's not my favorite pick as Superman, or who I even would know to put Superman as, but I deeply respect his just how nice he's been about it, how respectful he's been about it, and I will miss the DC. I think the DC lost a big chance right there by just tossing him aside. I would love to see him come back as a maybe a Superman Kingdom Come or Crisis, or like if they have like a Crisis event where he's like slightly older Superman with a white cowlick. I think that would really suit him really well as being like an older Superman. I think that would be great. But I don't know what Gunn's doing right now. I don't know why they would choose to do so, especially how excited everyone was to hear that Henry Cavill was back, even myself included. I'm like, oh, well, maybe he'll get a chance at A Man of Steel 2 to really do a better job. He'll have better material. He's really passionate. He really wants hope He wants Superman to be hopeful, and that was to me the key thing. He understands. He at least understands from the forefront that Superman's to be a hopeful, inspiring character. It's not about the violence. It's about him helping and saving people and doing the right thing.
Mm.
And I think that's probably also what got him kicked out, is that he cares about the character. It's the same reason that got him kicked out of The Witcher. He cares about the story and the characters. So he went, screw that. I'm going to go work with 40K.
Yeah. Henry Cavill's got a new thing now with 40K, like Warhammer now. He's kind of got something else there. I mean, it's kind of like my opinion on him as Superman is kind of mixed because, like I said, he never really got a good opportunity to show off his skills.
Yeah.
You know, Man of Steel, he only had one solo movie. Then his other projects was like Justice League and then Batman v Superman, which were more ensemble kind of things. And now he's going to be doing a Warhammer 40K series, which is going to be on Amazon. And Henry Cavill also just recently left Netflix because he, left the Witcher project, which that was also had a lot of turmoil going on there because, the people it's come out that the creators of that show didn't even really care about the material. Like Henry Cavill was like one of the few people on that show that cared about the material, cared about where it was coming from, and he wanted to do it justice, but the writers of the show didn't. So it's kind of probably really frustrating for him. And then to be in another situation oh yeah, go ahead.
He left Witcher to come back to DC to be Superman. It was so happy to have it happen. Announced it, was so happy, and then they got rid of him. He lost a job. He lost a job to go to another one, and then they kicked him out. That is so disrespectful.
Yeah.
Even if they're going with another person, it's really disrespectful. And honestly, you got to hand it to him how much of a class act he's been handling this. He hasn't gone on a rant or this is ridiculous. He's just like, okay, that's business. Thank you for the time, gentlemen, and I'm gonna move to projects.
Apparently, I mean, again, he's keeping good relations with the studio, so maybe they're gonna invite him back, do something else. Possibly for DC or just for Warner Brothers in general. Maybe they could always bring him back there, and do something. I mean, Gunn. I mean, apparently he wants to, I guess, reset everything back to formula. I guess, and kind of go back to square one with a lot of this stuff, and kind of just like, okay, let's just clean the slate and go back to square one again. And we talked about it. We say.
That's not the worst thing, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, because a lot of this stuff is kind of up and down. There's also reports that there may not be a Wonder Woman 3. Like Patty Jenkins she hasn't been I don't think is maybe graceful as someone like Henry Cavill. But the reportedly was kind of going on there between her and some of the heads there. But there's reports that may not be there. Wonder Woman 3, which Wonder Woman, I know people didn't like Wonder Woman 84, but Wonder Woman, the first one was very good, and people did love that first one. And there may not even be an Aquaman. They might not continue with him. They have made Jason Momoa. There's rumors he's going to play another character like Lobo or something. They're going to discontinue that. Again, Aquaman, the first one made $1 billion, and I think most people, for the most part, people really like Jason Momoa as Aquaman. They like kind of Aqua Bro. You know what I mean? They like,
dude bro.
Yeah, Aqua dude bro. So they kind of like him. So, yeah, I mean, I kind of understand that you just want to set your things in your way. You're coming on and you want to just wipe the slate clean. So I kind of get that from Gunn as far as that, and him saying that. Do you think he'd be good at writing a Superman movie? Given you've seen his track record with all his other movies, do you think he'd be good?
No. I think he does. James Gunn is good at dealing with characters who are making characters. He has one really good skill in making you care about characters you normally wouldn't care about. Making characters who are fundamentally a certain way, I don't think he's going to be very good at. I don't have a lot of hope for his Superman portrayal. Superman has already been portrayed really badly. He got portrayed really badly, written-wise, not necessarily performance, from Zack Snyder, who does not understand Superman, does not understand the character, fundamentally doesn't. He barely fundamentally understands Batman, not very well. He understands Frank Miller's Batman, which is a interpretation of Batman. And not even the best, just a interpretation of Batman. Some argue the best, but I would disagree wholeheartedly. I don't have a lot of confidence. I don't need a snarky Superman. I just need a fundamentally good Superman. I need him to be an encouraging character, someone who can fail but still tries to succeed, and who inspires hope. And I need someone who understands fundamentally what Superman and who Clark Kent is above all else. And I don't think I'm going to quite get that with James Gunn. He's good at tweaking characters and putting twists on them. I mean, even the Guardians of the Galaxy, they're not necessarily comic book accurate. They're pretty accurate, but not. I mean, Star-Lord is a completely different character in the MCU than he is in the Marvels. Not completely different, but he is a twist, and that comes from the actor who plays him, and that comes from the people who write him and direct them. So I don't know, but I would say just from what I've seen, as much as I like the guy and I like his stuff, I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at his track record, I mean, James Gunn deals with a lot of like misfit, outcast characters, like Rainn Wilson's character in Super, Peter Quill's character a little bit in Star-Lord, like kind of like loser kind of characters and making them kind of heroic. How is
no?
Well, I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said right what you know.
Yeah. That's kind of what he's kind of, I think that's one of his specialties there. What is he going to do with Superman? How good is his Superman going to be as far as like what type of personality he's going to have? I don't know. It'd be very kind of interesting to see. And there's always a lot of people say like, well, Superman as a character, isn't very interesting, or he's just incredibly boring. No, it's just you just have to have somebody who can write and write him well. I think that's just the thing with that character. So that's who would your pick to be Superman? And I think you have a Superman that's pretty good on TV right now, Taylor Hoechlin, who we reviewed Superman and Lois. We reviewed the first season of that. The actor who plays Superman in that series, I think does a really good job there, and what they do with him, I think is also very good. Do you have any pick of who you would want to be Superman or actor-wise?
I'd have to come back to you on that. I'd have to think really hard on that. But I think with Superman and Lois, I think they lucked out with the guy who he looks very fit and good for Superman, but he matches the idea that Clark should be anonymous. He's just a good guy, and the guy himself, when he's wearing glasses and wearing that flannel, he's just chilling out, and he just looks like Kansas man, and that's just the way he looks. I think that works out, but then when things need to get serious, he's able to turn on the Superman-ness. So I think for that kind of a character, I think he would do fine, but I don't know if I would necessarily pick him for a movie Superman, if that makes any sense. I think he's a great TV Superman.
Yeah. I think you should get Liam Hemsworth. Just have Liam Hemsworth follow Henry Cavill around in all his career, and then as soon as he leaves the project, just replace him with Liam Hemsworth. That's what he should. That's what Liam Hemsworth should probably just replace him there. Just keep following him around. Also in this variety,
Hot potato.
Yeah, basically, yeah. It's like, is Henry Cavill? Has he been here? Did he just leave? Oh, okay. I'll step in for him. Don't worry. That's okay. There's also reports that they also met with Ben Affleck as well. Ben Affleck, who he played Batman. There's reports that he may direct a future DC project, which would be interesting. Ben Affleck is a great director. I would have loved to see him direct and star in his own Batman movie. But I don't think that's gonna happen. And there's also reports that James Gunn wants to bring in the Batman, like Robert Pattinson's Batman, into the fold, into the larger DC universe stuff, which I don't know if I would particularly like, because I liked that the Batman was kind of off in its own universe and its own world. I liked how they didn't have like some big stinger at the end that set up, you know what I mean? Something that's like, it was just, it was all about Batman. It was all about Gotham and those characters and everything like that. Like, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I kind of enjoyed
It
that.
was nice that it was a one-shot or an Elseworld story. It was an interpretation of Batman that was interesting to see, not necessarily one I want to see as the main Batman.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. But, yeah. Um. All right. We're gonna be moving on from discussing James Gunn, Henry Cavill,